You're listening to continuing coverage in the suitcase murder, the trial of Sarah Boone, from the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today. Now, back to the courtroom.
Today's date is February 24th, 2020. The time now is approximately 17:16 hours. This is in reference to Orange County case number 20-017904. My first recording on a separate digital recorder, the memory became full and we could no longer record. But I am in my unmarked agency vehicle with, can you state your name, ma'am?
Sarah Boone.
And my partner, Detective Scott Lowen. We are outside in my unmarked agency vehicle outside of 4748 France Lane, number 3 in Winter Park, collecting a statement from Sarah. Okay, Sarah, just for recording purposes, because it did technically stop and I wasn't able to say the time that it stopped prior, we have not talked anything further, not on recording.
Correct.
Okay, and you do understand that you don't have to speak with me if you don't want to, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I think I asked you, my last question was, and I'm not sure if you may have answered or not, but my last question was, you guys were just playing to have fun, and it wasn't like something you do right before like sex thing?
No.
Or it's just because you were
being silly.
Okay. But you do say that you are intimate. Are you guys intimate every single night?
No, not every single night.
Okay.
But I mean,
did you think it was gonna happen last night?
Yes.
Did you guys talk about it, or you just assumed like, oh, we're probably gonna have sex tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is normally after we do the puzzles and artwork and everything, yes.
Okay.
We were just having a good time.
Okay.
Just enjoying each other's company.
And so,
dancing with the dogs.
At any point, when he was in the suitcase, did you hear him say, please let me out?
No.
Was he?
We were laughing about it.
Yeah, okay. Did you make any jokes about it? Oh, you're in the suitcase, because I know you had said that you were left upstairs and he didn't basically come find you. Did you make any jokes about, oh, okay, well,
no.
Now you're in the suitcase?
No.
Okay. But I'm assuming the game was over, like you guys weren't gonna continue to play hide and seek anymore? Like you went upstairs and went into the room?
Right, waiting for him.
Okay. And you said you laid down?
Yes, the dogs got in the bed.
Do you guys sleep together in the room every single night?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Okay. And which side of the bed do you sleep on? Like if
it's, okay, here's the bed. I'm on the left side, he's on the right-hand side. Because I've got Lucas's pictures over here, he's got his kids' pictures over here.
Okay, so you're closer to the
wall.
door or closer to the other? Are you closer to the door to exit your room, or is he closer?
He is.
Okay. So where the pictures of Lucas are on that side, that's your side?
Correct.
Okay. And is that where you slept last night? Did you sleep in the middle of the bed? Did you sleep on your side of the bed?
I slept on my side.
Your side? Okay. And I noticed there's like one pillow on the bed, and then there were like 3 up against the closet. Are those his pillows, and he brings them into bed, or what's?
No, when I woke up, what I normally do is, I don't know if you noticed the mice that we have in there, Lucas's mice. But I'll make the bed, clean the mouse cage, and then go downstairs.
Okay.
So, but what I'm saying is that normally I'll fix up upstairs and then I'll head downstairs.
Okay.
So that's why those were over here, was because I was trying to fix up the bed a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Were they in the bed prior? Like when you went to sleep, how many pillows were in your bed?
We only have the 2.
You have 2. Okay.
Well, it's the 2 white ones and the king-size ones. When we watch movies, we'll put behind the white one, and then the bird pillow just goes in between everybody else.
Okay. Do you use one pillow to sleep, or do you each have one, right? Is that what you just said?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so you just basically didn't finish making the bed, is my understanding. That's why the pillows are up against there's like 3 pillows
Correct.
up against the closet.
Yes.
They're like standing.
Yes,
Okay.
because I'll move all the pillows off and then I'll shake out the bed and then put everything back together.
Okay. Okay. And did he say anything to you while he was in the suitcase? I know you guys were laughing, joking, but was any jokes made? Was anything said?
No, nothing negative or anything like, I'm telling you.
Just
like,
anything that he said, like.
we were laughing about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I waited for him upstairs.
Okay.
Did you tell him you were going upstairs, or?
No, I did not. I literally went upstairs to wait for him.
Was the line, was it all gone at this point while you guys were playing hide and seek?
I think so.
Okay. Is it, at that point, I mean, I don't know how often you drink, but would you say that you were under the influence and he was under the influence, or
Well, I mean, we weren't drunk.
weren't drunk? Okay.
We weren't drunk. I mean, we had a handful of glasses throughout the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we weren't like inebriated where you couldn't drive. You could still, I mean, we were compos mentis. That's what I'll say. Both of us were compos mentis.
You're
Okay.
gonna have to explain that one to me upstairs.
Yeah, I don't know what that word means.
I mean, we had our wits about ourselves.
Okay.
That's why he and I were
Here's
playing.
the thing though, this isn't a trick question, you're at your home, you're consenting adults. If you're drinking, say you were drunk, there's no law against it.
Right.
Nobody's judging you, you're at home.
Neither one of us were drunk.
Okay.
We were just,
I'm just trying
At
to
the
let you know,
giddy
that's
stage.
okay.
that's what it was. Listening to music again, dancing with the dogs.
Okay. Well, luckily his blood alcohol level will show us at the autopsy as well too. So, you know, we have that as well. Okay, so,
There was no ill will between the two of us last night.
yeah.
None.
When's the last time you guys have gotten into an argument?
Maybe last week.
Okay. Over just normal relationship stuff, or?
It's a little bit of everything because he and I both are stressing about jobs.
Right.
It's been extremely depressing for him where he worked up here at it used to be an Ace Hardware, but Ace dropped them as a franchise because of how bad the store is going down. And he thoroughly enjoyed his job and everybody he worked with. But it's between stuff like that, and then of course we've got the bills that we have to pay, and I've been having to ask Brian, my former husband, for money to pay for electricity and hot water for Lucas and groceries.
Okay.
So I think that, of course, because he can't support me, has been bothering him, which is why I bought a new puzzle for the two of us to do.
Right.
And that's what we were working on in the painting.
Okay. Do you guys normally argue often, not often, weekly, every
It
other?
all depends on like if he had a good day or a bad day kind of thing, where he would just be happy to come home and see me because he knows that it's going to get better. And then most of the time he would go for a drink and we would sit on the back porch. He would tell me about his day. And we would have a glass of wine and then kind of start our evening-ish kind of thing and smoke. But then we would go inside because we're tired of being outside. And then that's when we started to do the art and puzzles. And then listening to music and playing with the dogs. And it's a thing, tag, you're it kind of thing.
Gotcha. Is there anything he drinks specifically, like his go-to drink, or?
It's honestly whatever it is we can afford.
Okay.
which is why we used to drink, like liquor, but
Right,
like months ago,
right.
which is why we have the wine.
Wine. Okay.
What did you guys make for dinner last night?
He made a pork sandwich with cheese, and what was it that I ate? I think I made a sandwich
Okay.
and some chips.
You guys didn't have to go out and get anything? You had everything here?
Yes.
Like a sandwich, like a deli sandwich, like deli meat sandwich, or do you think you had pork ham, like a ham?
I made a pork one the other day for him and Lucas,
Mm-hmm.
and they were leftovers, so he
Had that.
made a pork loin sandwich with cheese, and I had there's ham in it.
Ham sandwich with chips. Okay.
Does he normally come up to bed, or will he do the typical guy thing where he's downstairs and will fall asleep on the couch?
I mean, he's done that before just because of his crappy day that he had, but yes, we'd sleep in the same bed.
You normally sleep
Yes.
at the same time. Do you guys go to bed at the same time?
Most of the time, yes, but because he's been very excited about looking for a job, he might stay downstairs for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then would come upstairs, and he and I would watch movies together until it was just, okay, there's no more movies that we want to watch. And then we would just turn the lights off and go to sleep.
Last night, when you said you went upstairs, do you have like a ritual that you do prior to going to bed? Like, do you brush your teeth, wash your face, put on TV? Is there any like normal things that you do?
Me and myself?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'll go upstairs and maybe like rinse my mouth out with Listerine.
Okay. Do you recall what you did last night?
I just got in the bed with the dogs,
Okay.
waiting for him.
And how long do you think you were up waiting for him until you passed out?
I wouldn't say I necessarily passed out.
Oh, obviously.
Yes, he knows too that I'll go upstairs sometime because of how tired I am,
Mm-hmm.
which is why he'll just give me my space a little bit. Maybe I'll watch a show and then he'll come upstairs. So, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary.
No, I know, but last night, how long do you think it was prior to you falling asleep?
Oh,
Like, how long did you wait up for him?
maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I mean, I literally, I dozed off, warm in the bed with the dogs, waiting for him.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't even bother turning the TV on. Just got in the bed. He knows too that I would go upstairs because of how tired I am. He knows. Like, I'm mentally exhausted. So,
Who usually gets up first? I mean, are you an early riser? Is he an early riser?
He is.
Or he's usually an early riser?
yeah, he has to be at work by 8 o'clock, so he'll usually wake up at like 6:30-ish if I don't have Lucas.
How long has he been out of work?
Gosh, maybe, well, he did some odd job stuff up there. But I think his last day was like Friday 2 weeks ago.
So he hasn't worked in about 2 weeks?
Yes.
And during that 2 week period, has he maintained just his body naturally wakes up early, or does
Yes,
he
it's his body clock.
Okay. What time is that normally?
Like 6:30, 6:45-ish. But again, if I have Lucas here, I have to take him to school, so we're up at like 6:30. I'm feeling really like weird, guys. Like lightheaded.
Okay.
Like I feel really weird right now.
Do you feel like you're sick?
No, I'm not sick, just I don't know.
Do you need food?
I haven't even fed my dogs today. The mice need to be taken care of still. I don't think they have any food. But again, I'm thinking he's downstairs on the laptop, so he can use the laptop, and then I'll use the laptop afterwards.
So it wasn't, when you woke up this morning, it wasn't out of the ordinary that he wasn't there?
What do you mean?
You didn't wake up this morning and go, oh, where's George? You woke up thinking, okay, George got up like he normally does before me.
And it's downstairs on the laptop looking for jobs.
You had made a comment earlier that he's losing his teeth.
Yes.
What is
I think we don't know. I think that's one of the things subconsciously that has been really on his mind also, is that he keeps losing his teeth. Like, pieces would break off. He lost a whole molar or something in the back the other day while we're eating. And then he keeps talking about how his chest, and I'm blaming it on stress.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. I don't know what the teeth thing is. I know it can't be a good sign.
You said he got into, you said an argument, but he had a bunch of facial injuries where he had reconstructive surgery.
Yes.
So he and his brother got into a fist fight?
Oh my gosh, it was horrific, yes.
Was it I mean, usually when you have that much damage, it's more than just a fist fight. His brother did him with something?
No, wait till you guys see Mo. Mo is a gorilla. Like, he's...
It is possibly that's what's causing the teeth to get messed up?
Did they have to do work on his teeth or his jaw or
Just his
anything?
eyes.
His eyes.
Just the orbital sockets?
Yes. Well, and they fixed his nose too.
Okay. Now, the damage to his eyes, is that still, I mean, is it noticeable or?
No.
Okay, so when they fixed the sockets, they came back and you couldn't tell that they'd been damaged?
I couldn't tell, but his children recognize it, where they say he doesn't look like the same dad.
Okay.
But to me, I never noticed it.
No other damage to the jaw, the forehead, anything like that?
No. It was just his eyes and his nose.
Bless you.
You said he's been complaining of chest pains?
He had mentioned it a couple times, where I'm just blaming it on stress. But again, I kept trying to encourage him, with or without money, go to a walk-in clinic.
Yeah.
You'll eventually get a bill. But the teeth thing has been worrying me also, and I didn't want to say anything to him about it. But we were in the process of eating dinner, and a tooth comes out.
Yeah.
That's scary to me, and a red flag if you ask me.
Well, this is the reason I was asking what you guys had for dinner last night. What is his dietary habits been lately? I mean, he looks super thin to me. Now,
Yes.
I don't know George, but he does not look like he's an average
He
weight.
eats, believe it or not, like a horse. Like, he'll eat like 4 or 5 times a day. Again, one of the things that has been concerning me, which you all will be the first people that I actually say this to, is his weight. For the amount of food that he eats throughout the day,
Yeah.
how he doesn't gain any weight. He and I and Lucas going up to Publix every time we step on the scale, and he continuously loses weight.
How
Well, I don't even want to step on the scale anymore.
long has this been going on for?
Months.
So way before losing this job.
Yes. It's been ongoing. I mean, I'm not going to even say months. I could say at least a good year.
Okay.
And he eats like a horse.
And you said you don't know of any drug history?
Since I've been with him and known him, he has never done drugs. But I know him growing up in Philadelphia, he had a bad stint with marijuana and alcohol.
Okay.
If and when you talk to his children and or his ex-wife, she will tell you. His family will tell you. But since he's been with me, no, I have not. He's never done drugs, Riley.
Okay.
Your phone, is it password protected or
Yes.
touch screen?
It's password protected.
Does George know the password as well?
He doesn't know the code, but he does the face thing. Face.
His face will be able to get on it? Okay.
And the only reason why I have that is because I have lost 2 phones previously where I can't, before I had the passcode was somebody else being able to get into my phone because I lost it twice. So that's the only reason why I have it.
Oh, like that's the reason you put a password on it,
Yes.
just in case you lost your phone?
Yes.
Okay, so do you recall what time you went to bed?
I know that it was after midnight
Okay. How do you know that? Like, what makes you remember that?
because I walked up the stairwell and we have a clock that's on top.
Like, you see it as you're walking up the stairwell?
Yes. You have to turn the corner and it's right here.
Okay. And you don't remember when you went into the shower, around what time it was, looking at that same clock?
I didn't shower. I mean, I showered earlier in the day.
No, when you said you hid in the shower when you were playing
Oh.
hide and seek.
Yes.
Did you happen to look at that clock then and see what time it was?
No, I just happened to look up on my way.
Going to bed? Or going into the room?
Yes.
Okay, so it was after midnight. Do you think it was before 1 a.m. though? Was it between midnight and 1 or?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, if I had to say, it was like 12:30-ish.
Okay. Okay, and when you went upstairs, you and George were no longer having a conversation, laughing about the suitcase. You just decided to go upstairs.
No, we were laughing about it.
Okay, so you continued to joke about it as you were going upstairs,
Yeah,
thinking he'll just get himself out and then.
Yes, that's why I didn't close it all the way. That's why I didn't close it all the way. I'm like, he'll be up here any minute now. But then, I guess I dozed off.
Okay.
And again, I'm thinking he's downstairs on the laptop this morning. Because he gets out of bed before I do, most of the time.
When you put him in or when he got into the suitcase,
Yes.
correct? So the suitcase now, if we're looking at it, what side was his head on when he got into the suitcase and you zipped him? Was his head like on the, if we're looking
If
at it?
it's like this,
Uh-huh.
his head was here. The hole was here.
So his head was closer to where,
Yes,
like when you close it, his head was closer to where it's closed.
no, that's where his head's here. This is him doing the finger thing over here.
Right, so his head is closer to where you can close it. So when you close it, his head is on that side. Or his head is on the opposite side of where you close it. Because there's obviously an open, there's when the suitcase is open, and then when it's shut. And it's obviously, the zipper's on opposite sides.
So if you do this, yes,
Mhm.
his head was here, where the zip part was.
Okay. Okay.
But again, that's why I didn't zip it up all the way.
Is there anything else that you think is important for us to know that we haven't asked you?
don't know what happened. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know, again, if he had like a heart attack or an aneurysm or what. Like, I don't know what happened.
Do you keep your phone on you? Like, is it always in your possession?
No. Because it's a community phone between me and him, like if he needs it, most of the time it's on the kitchen counter.
Okay.
Where it's like he knows that's where my phone is, or hey, after you're done talking to Lucas, do you mind if I call my daughters? So it's
Right.
our phone.
No, I get it. I just,
But no, I don't walk around with my phone on me all the time.
okay. Did you bring it upstairs with you when you were going to bed?
No.
No. Okay. So it stays downstairs.
No.
Or is downstairs with him?
Yes, he was downstairs with him. Because that's how I heard my phone ringing, and I knew it was Brian because he called over and over and over and over again, which is what he does.
So you assumed it was him, but you didn't know Brian was calling you, but you assumed it was Brian.
Yes, because he calls back to back to back to back to back to back. Until I finally answer.
Okay. Okay, so your phone was downstairs.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you promise and swear everything we've talked about has been true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But may I ask you though,
Mm-hmm.
because I was telling you guys about it earlier,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know if I'm afraid for my life at this point.
I know. But
I'm afraid.
I don't know anything about your guys' history. Like, I don't know, other than the family not liking you, like,
And they get upset because of the drinking. And just the things that we have gone through, and I know that they don't want him to be with me, but he and
are
I
they gonna tell me that he's an alcoholic?
probably.
Okay. Are they gonna tell me that you're an alcoholic?
They'll say that, but they don't know. They assume
Okay. Why do they say that he's an alcoholic?
because of his track record in Philadelphia and all of the things that he has done. Cars that he's wrecked, ex-wives' cars. He's been divorced twice. And he has, yes, they'll say that.
Okay.
They'll say that, but they don't know. They just assume.
Okay. Well, people have their opinions, okay? You can't not, there's nothing you can do about someone having an opinion and saying something like that. As far as what's going on here, I've told you, prior, we don't know what happened. So I understand you feel like they're gonna not accept, what happened and they're gonna think that it's your fault, but at this time, we cannot conclude and say anything differently. I know we've talked about you possibly going somewhere else for tonight. You have to do what you have to do to keep yourself safe, but at this point in time, no one has made a threat to you. No one has done anything.
I just haven't said anything to him yet.
Right, but we will obviously talk to them, and of course, we're gonna instruct them that this is an ongoing investigation.
I think I'm my son.
Well, your son's with Brian and is gonna stay with Brian. So we're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it. I know you're fearful of it now, but nothing has happened to where you're in fear based off past history and what they think of you and how,
They threaten me all the time.
do you have proof or is it all verbal? Like, would it be in your phone?
No, it's verbal.
Okay.
It's verbal.
So it's he said versus she said, or she said versus she said. So
Yeah, they've been really nasty to me. Really nasty to me.
it's gonna be a shock. It's gonna be, they're gonna Everyone handles things differently. We're not gonna leave there with them hooting and hollering.
She's going to
and
class.
being upset.
And then they're gonna all come over here.
Okay, well, who's gonna collapse? 'Cause I don't even know
His mom.
His mom? What's his mom's name?
Blanca.
Is that her government name, or is that just what you call her?
No, I think that's her government name.
And you said she lives around here?
They live down the street.
When's the last time you said he doesn't even really talk to his family because he chose you over them, so when's the last time you've seen them or talked to them?
I believe he did something with his brothers a couple of weeks ago, but I don't go over there.
Okay.
Like,
So if he goes over there, you do not go?
no.
But he did something with his brothers
I'm guessing so. I know that they come up to his job all the time.
when he was working there?
Yes.
Okay. So.
They don't come, I mean, they have come over here and have just been completely disrespectful.
Okay.
And again, he ended up having to tell them, don't come over here if you're gonna act like that and treat Sarah like that.
Do you know their address?
I have it inside, I know it's Baja Boulevard, but if you go down, what is this out here? Goldenrod,
Mm-hmm.
there's a Twisty Tree ice cream place on the right-hand side, and you turn down that road, and then you make a left, and then you'll see Baja, and you make a right, and their house is white, and it's fenced in, and it's got a whole bunch of garden flowers.
Okay. I'm gonna end my recording, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
One quick question, just out of curiosity. I'm noticing your front door, it has a bunch of dents in it. What is that from?
When we moved in, they were already there.
'Cause I don't see any other doors with dents like that.
That whoever it was that lived here previously, I know it was a girl, but that was here when we moved in.
Right.
This ends our recording 17:47.
While you were on the scene on February 24th, did you also make contact with Ryan Boone?
Yes, before I spoke to Sarah Boone, yes.
And did you have an opportunity to interview him?
Yes, I did.
While on scene, did you also begin the process of examining the defendant's cell phone?
I did not examine it myself, but we have a waivers and affidavits form that has a consent portion on it. And so I did start doing the paperwork for that.
You obtained consent from the defendant in this case?
Yes, on scene to search through her cell phone.
And what time did you become aware of the videos on her cell phone?
So a digital forensic investigator responded out to the scene, and she responded out a little after 7 p.m. And I would assume she probably started doing, whatever she needed to do. And then a short time later, she came over and got my attention and expressed to me that I needed to look at something in her phone.
And these were the suitcase videos, correct?
Yeah, they were 2 separate videos from the night prior.
When you observed these videos, what actions did you take?
When I observed the videos, I directed the digital investigator to stop processing and downloading her phone any further, and that I was going to write a search warrant for her cell phone.
Did you obtain that search warrant for her cell phone?
Yes, it was signed by a judge the next day.
And she was obviously able to finish the digital analysis, correct?
Yeah, she was able to get the full download as well. She had already gotten the videos downloaded the night prior, but she was able to do whatever she does to get the full download.
In the course of your interview with the defendant, you were relayed information that I guess she had gone to Publix the previous day. Is that correct?
In the interview?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'm sorry. In the interview that we just listened to about going to Publix?
In the course of speaking with her, did you learn that she had gone to Publix?
Yes. I was under the impression that George had gone to Publix.
Did you follow up with that Publix for surveillance video in this case?
Yes. I went to the Publix to gather surveillance video.
And were you able to find that video of them at Publix the previous day?
Yes.
Your Honor, request permission to publish Stage 2.
You may.
Can we go to the lines, please?
Ma'am, I'm first going to show you the video taken from Publix on February 23rd, 2020 at approximately 12:15 p.m. Ma'am, using the laser pointer, could you please identify the victim and the defendant on this video?
This is the defendant, and this is the victim.
You can advance the video. Do you see the bottle of wine that was purchased in this video?
Yes, it's right here.
We could move on to the publication of the second surveillance video. Can you identify Mr. Torres for us in this video?
Yes, he's right here.
And is that the second bottle of wine?
Yes.
All right. In the course of your investigation, did you also interview individuals from the apartment complex while they were living?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to also interview their neighbors as well?
Yes, I did.
Did you interview Juan Torres?
Yes, the following day.
And did you attend the autopsy in this case?
Yes, the following morning.
Your Honor, may I approach with the defense?
Yes. Members of the jury, it is 3:34. My understanding, based on the state, is the next part of their presentation is going to be kind of long in length. So we're going to go ahead and take our afternoon break at this point in time. Similar instruction that I've given you over the last couple of days. Please don't have any discussions among yourselves or anyone else about the persons, places, things, or charge involved. And do not conduct any independent investigation with regard to those things. We'll give you a 15-minute recess. We will see you at 3:50. Thank you so much for your service. You all may be seated. State, anything we need to address?
No.
Defense? All right, we'll be in a recess for 15 minutes. Thank you. Case number 2020 CF 2603, State of Florida versus Sarah Boone. State?
David Ketchstraw on behalf of the state. William J. for the state.
Defense?
James Owens from Miss Boone.
Tony Henderson for Ms. Boone.
All right, Ms. Boone is seated at counsel's table wearing the same clothing from this morning. She is in custody but not wearing any restraints, so again, we'll continue to stand when our jury enters and exits. I believe we're getting to the part of the state's presentation with the recorded interview on February 25, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And what do we need to address with regard to that in advance, if anything?
Judge, I believe it's identified as state's exhibit for identification S, as in Sam.
Okay.
And I believe that's the 2-hour interrogation video that I had filed the pretrial motion to suppress, which the court had denied, but contemporaneously I want to make that objection.
Okay, understood. Any other objections?
No, sir.
Okay. It was edited based on the court's granting of the motion in limine, defense's motion in limine prior to trial. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's correct, and a copy of the edited version was provided to the defense, I believe, on the first day of jury selection.
That's true.
Okay. And I'm assuming the video that's going to be provided to our jury this afternoon is that exact same video?
Yes.
Do you want me to read the 2.2 instruction prior to it being played after it being received into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Which instruction is that?
That's the instruction on edited recording.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else we need to address state before we bring back in our jury?
Not for the state.
Mr. Beck, Mr.
Your Honor, if I may real briefly.
Appearances, sir.
Contemporaneous objection?
No. I was going to talk about the reports that the court referenced in the last sidebar before the jury was brought in this afternoon.
Fine. Let me just get your appearance, Mr. Beck.
I'm sorry, yes. Kevin Beck on behalf of Sarah Boone.
Yes, sir.
There was a discussion regarding these depositions that were going to be taken this afternoon of the defense witnesses that were recently noticed. I do have some concerns about the court having indicated to defense that if we had reports, things of that nature, we should share those with the state to the extent that those reports were generated by our investigator there, potentially work product privilege. And so we're happy to work with the state, cooperate with the state, give them what we can, but I want to expressly state that we are not waiving work product privilege by providing whatever information we can to allow this process to move forward.
Understood. I'm not seeking to have you turn over anything to the state that may be protected by any attorney-client or work product privilege. My takeaway was there's something that could be provided. If it can, fantastic. If it can't, the court's ruling from previously still remains. Since we have an opportunity to revisit our list during the lunch break, did you have an opportunity, Mr. Owens, addressing the USB to CD conversion for any evidence to be provided or sought to be introduced by the defense?
My understanding is that Mr. Billy Lane was going to go to Staples or somewhere and purchase one of those DVs or whatever it is that makes the conversion, so we anticipate it will be done tomorrow.
Okay, excellent. All right. Anything else we need to address then before we bring back in our panel state?
Enough to say.
Defense.
No, sir.
All right, let's stand and bring back in our panel.
You're entering.
State, do you recognize our jury?
I do, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Y'all can be seated. Members of the jury, again, if you could, just raise your hands to confirm you complied with the court's instructions. Record reflect all hands have been raised. Thank you very much. State, you may continue.
On February 25th of 2020, did you set up a follow-up interview with the defendant in this case?
Yes, I did.
And that was after you had attended the autopsy that morning, correct?
The interview, the follow-up interview was to be conducted after the autopsy. Not necessarily set up, but it was to be conducted after the autopsy.
I apologize if I misspoke on that.
Sorry.
Was that interview recorded?
Yes, it was, audio and video.
And where did that interview take place?
Central operations at the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness what's been marked for identification as states S and shown to the defense?
You may.
Ma'am, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as states S. Tell me, do you recognize that disc?
Yes, I do.
And tell us, what is this disc?
This is the follow-up interview conducted on February 25th, 2020 at Orange County Central Operations with the defendant, Sarah Boone.
And does it fairly and accurately represent the interview that took place between yourself and the defendant?
Yes,
And is that your initials on this disc?
it is, yes.
And you had an opportunity to review it prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's been marked for identification as states S into evidence.
The only objection is from the previous pretrial issues.
The state will, court will receive into evidence what was pre-marked as states S over objection as states exhibit 20.
And Your Honor, request permission to publish.
Momentarily. Members of the jury, I have an instruction to read to you before the exhibit 20 is published to you. Members of the jury, you are about to view and listen to a video recording. The court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate irrelevant portions that would not add to your understanding of the case. The fact that the recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you view, listen to, and consider this evidence.
a moment.
Sure. So obviously, he received his autopsy. So I'm going to read you your rights again because we have to talk about that. And since I'm talking about the incident, we just have to do it, just like we did yesterday. Just like we did yesterday. Remember I read you the rights?
Yeah.
Your rights? Yeah. So it's the exact same thing, but since I'm asking you follow-up questions, I need to read them to you, okay? All right. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning without charge. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one can be provided for you before questioning without charge. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to talk to me?
No.
And do you understand what I just read you?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So this morning we went to his autopsy, and we were informed of some injuries that he has by the doctor. So I want, so he's got scratch marks to his back.
I know that's from.
Okay. And it's called a contusion. Do you know what a contusion is? So like basically you're getting hit and then you get a mark from it. You'll get bruising. Like someone hit you or something like that. It's called a contusion. So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his like lip. We could see his mouth was a little.
I haven't laid a hand on him.
Okay.
Also too, he fell off my son's bike,
Okay.
so I don't know. And he's notorious for running into the wall or the haltery. So
Okay. What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's also like a scratch on like the back of his neck, like kind of like going, but it's like going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from.
And they're all recent. Like they occurred recently. It wasn't something that occurred post or that occurred a week ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They definitely occurred, the night leading up. So when he was.
In all honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, the only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratch marks on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I have no idea what it is. No idea what it is. Nonetheless, I've had my son over the house too, so.
Well, your son was there when? When was he last there?
Oh, gosh.
My understanding is there like last Tuesday?
I don't know if it was Tuesday, but yes, he was there last week, so.
Well, we're talking about Sunday. We're just talking about what occurred Sunday. Because like I said, the injuries they occurred within that time period.
So you're talking about day before yesterday?
Sunday leading into Monday. You called us yesterday at 1, but the incident, you guys were painting and stuff the night prior.
Correct.
So we're talking about Sunday, and then
That's
it's
why
Monday.
I'm thoroughly confused, because we had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine, and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play, and listen to music. That's why nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
He also had, on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on his head, his skull.
I have no idea.
As if something hit him.
I
Consider
not
force
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
How would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swab, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay, are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
I have no idea, and I don't want to seem out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good day. We've had good days lately.
Mm-hmm.
Even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. I don't even know where this is coming from.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think the
even know.
last physical was probably, you said, I think, a month ago? Where you got the injury? right? You said that was a
I'll say
month
a few
ago?
weeks, give or take, yeah.
A few weeks. That was the last like physical altercation between the two of you? You said a month ago he hit you with a curtain rod.
Yeah, let's turn around. That's why I can't believe you guys didn't take that either.
Huh.
Like, we've been good. I don't know if, like, it's since the last time he got out of jail. Like, we've been good. He's been having his classes and seeing his probation officer, who's amazing. So,
What do you mean by good? What's your definition of good?
the probation officer,
No, you said you guys have been good. What's your definition?
I've been good. I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is. I don't know if you talked to Brian about any of that, but most of the time when I flee, I go over there. So,
Right, but you're saying that you guys have been good, and when I asked you yesterday, the last incident that you could remember was the curtain rod incident, which you said was a month ago, so.
give or take,
Right, so what do you mean by he comes after you, like?
he gets belligerently drunk. Like, I don't know if you all have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken. And at one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So you all will see in my pictures, bloody fingers, split foreheads, he split my nose. I've got this.
Right.
I don't know if Brian told you about it, where I had to have almost what? I had one really bad surgery, but then it got really, 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 really bad, where I had to go like 4 or 5 more times afterwards and then tend to it. And then poked me in the back of the leg.
Right.
So it's,
Then why are you still with him?
everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him, like I do. And I feel like I can help him. Like, I feel like I could help him, which I did, because he came a really long way from where he was in Philadelphia to moving back to here and to dealing with everything else that he's been dealing with. I've really helped him. I bailed him out of jail, 3 times. I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him. Gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state, I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him, because I had hope in him. And he was trying. He was really trying. And then he starts to think about things, and I think he gets overwhelmed, and then it's like, next thing you know, he's drinking. So it's like, oh man, I know where this is gonna go, so I'm gonna go upstairs and read a book, or I'm gonna go for a bike ride, or I'm gonna do something else, where I don't wanna drink. I don't wanna drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend, that's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't know how to, I guess, maintain himself, where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that. So he would literally, not literally, but have smoke come out of his ears. So the next thing you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. I'm going to go get something to drink. So the majority of the time, I would hang out outside or do something else because I don't want to drink. And every time, his job broke his heart. And it made me sad because he had so much pride in his job. And the store that he took care of so much totally went downhill. And that broke his heart because he had put so much work and effort into fixing it up. And his manager was awful and basically gave up on all of the employees. So I think that had a huge bearing on why he would drink so much. His ex-wife is bonkers. She was all over him all the time. Send me money, send me money, send me money. How can I send you money when I don't have a job? And he's still trying to take care of me and Lucas by paying a bill here or there, getting some groceries. So he always had something on his mind, which is why, again, I got the puzzles and the bank to try to get him off of it so he don't have a drink, or he doesn't have a drink. So when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television because he's belligerently drunk. where most of the time, I just don't want to be there. And I try to help him. I try to calm him down. Eventually, he just passes out.
Well, yesterday it made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me but you told me on recording, like, that you were not drunk, he was not drunk, you guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-complimented, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control. So,
I'm just saying, you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today, and yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions, and you're like a little defensive, like, no, we're not alcoholics. We are not, you know, but you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out, I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it?
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that too on the pictures, him loving the dog. He loves the dog and dancing around, having a good time, and just being happy kind of thing.
More continuing coverage in the suitcase murder. The Trial of Sarah Boone is on the way. From the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today. Press subscribe now.